I grew up in Norwalk, Connecticut, and I went to Norwalk High School. I was a Bear. I went to college at UConn and never really moved back home after that, so I've kind of stayed in this area, working at E.O. Smith as a teacher and coaching at the high school level and coaching a bunch of different club teams in this area, and I ended up moving to Willimantic 2000, 23 years ago, and haven't thought about going anywhere else, really. The rewards of being a college coach to me are things like we had our banquet this past Sunday, and this is just one example, but seeing the guys turn into, into adults really, and their maturity and how that changes and winning games and competing. Obviously, I'm a very competitive person. That's a great part of it. But I think the most rewarding part is just seeing how they change over 4 years and come in, at one place and really work hard to be the best version of themselves. I think when I first started, I was really just looking at them as players and who could come in and, win games and that sort of thing. But I quickly realized after a couple of years that was just one small piece of it. And them as people, to me, is the most important thing right now. So there's a lot of good players out there. There's a lot of good talent that can help us win soccer games. But it's more like an organization where you want to bring in people that you can work with and that are truly bought in. So the character piece is huge. And as soon as somebody writes to me, if they look like a pretty good player, the first thing I do is try to reach out to anybody that I know that knows them more as a person and what's their work ethic like and what's their character like, and how do they treat their teammates, how do they treat their coaches, because that to me is going to be a really big measure of success, right? How hard they work and what kind of person they are. Do they want to get better, or are they all kind of fixed in the way that they are? I see both sides of it because I've coached club soccer for a long time, and I see this side of it, and I think too much is made of whether it's Division I, Division II, Division III, and not enough effort's put into really do the research and find out if the school is a good fit for you and if the level is a good fit for you, regardless of whether it's Division I, II, or III. So I think a lot is kind of put into that. I want to play at this level or that level, and we don't do a good enough job educating student athletes, prospective student athletes, and their parents on exactly what it means to play on a very good Division III team or attend a very good Division III school. And I'm the perfect example. I went to UConn and tried to play there, and it was way over my head. It was a bad fit for me, and I didn't put the work in ahead of time. So I can speak to that piece of it as well. But part of our recruiting process is educating and almost treating them like they're my club players and getting them to watch our video and compare it to other video of schools that they're interested in to see what the level is, to see that maybe there's not as big of a difference as they thought that there was, or is that really the only reason you're attending school is the soccer piece? Because if it is, that's not, it shouldn't be the sole thing that you choose a school based upon. You should look at other things, like would I be happy at Eastern if I didn't have soccer? Because if the answer is no, then maybe Eastern's not the right fit for you. So I think there's a lot more that goes into it. I think that we really just need to do a better job as club coaches of educating the student athletes and the parents so that they get the right fit and they don't end up wanting to transfer after 1 year. I mean, a typical day in our program, I think, you're going to go to classes for about 3 hours a day, which is going to be an adjustment from high school, be where you're used to being there for 5 or 6 or 7 hours a day. You're going to have training just like you would in high school for about the same amount of time, maybe even shorter than what you're used to in high school, usually about 90 minutes a day. So maybe between getting there a little bit early and hanging out at the field a little bit late, maybe it's a couple-hour commitment that way. I have guys in my office right now that are doing study hall, so that may be something that's an additional investment in yourself during the day to to get yourself sorted and work on your time management skills and make sure that you're successful in college. I think the time commitment it's a lot to be a successful athlete, but I don't think that it's that different than what you were doing beforehand. If you were trying to be successful as a high school student athlete and doing everything that you could, weight room, maybe some training on your own outside of regular training, then I don't think the time commitment is all that different. I think it's more of a matter of how you manage your time. Once our season ends and we don't have actual practices, you'll probably be working with the strength coach. You'll have that opportunity 3 or 4 times a week, and just to play pickup games with the guys, based on who can make it and when they can make it. So there's still that involvement and being part of a team, but it's not as regimented, say, as it is during the traditional season that we have in the fall. Although the NCAA's recently changed some regulations that make our non-traditional season a little bit longer going forward. So we'll have the opportunity to extend that starting next year. I tell every recruit and their parents when they come in to meet in our office for the first time that their experience here is they're going to get developed not only as a player, but as a student and as a person. So all 3 areas. And we want them to strive to be the best version of themselves. So what that looks like for you and for me might not be exactly the same, but as long as they are trying to be the best version of themselves in those 3 areas, as a player, as a person, and as a student, then I feel like I've done my job at the end of 4 years.